Well, welcome to yet another Face2Face interview with Rockosaurus. Today I'm very pleased to be chatting to the wonderful Ashen once again.
Hello there.
Hello.
Good evening.
Welcome back
Hello.
to Leo's.
Pleasure to be back.
You're no strangers to this place now, are you?
No, not at all.
Nope, second home.
Yeah,
It is.
very much so.
That's what we like to hear. Yeah. Now you've got rather a good gig here, haven't you?
Yeah, it's alright.
Yeah,
It's really good. We're chuffed with it,
supporting
man.
the one
Chuffed.
and only Mike Gray.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
amazing.
That's quite something, isn't it?
Yeah, it's awesome. We've second night of the tour.
Tour 2,
3
yeah.
dates.
Yeah. Was it Mike? Did he see us at Planet Rockstock? And after that,
think
he,
so,
yeah, yeah,
he
it's Planet
messaged
Rockstock.
us directly and was like, "I like you guys. I want you."
I
Yeah.
was like, yes, absolutely.
We'll have a bit of that.
When, yeah, let's do it.
He's been really gracious with us since. Well, I mean, first show was yesterday, but friendly dude, really nice. The rest of his band are awesome guys. We obviously know Dan
Yeah.
through the circuit anyway. The other guys was the first time really meeting them. All boss dudes.
Yeah.
Very accommodating, warm. Didn't
Yeah.
make us feel, not that we'd expect that anyway, but it was a warm welcome, and they were very kind enough to offer help if we needed it or if we had any issues. Mike was like, just come to me or Simon, and we'll
Get it
sort it
sorted.
out immediately. And it's
Yeah.
just been great, very relaxed and
Yeah.
comfortable.
Like Band of Brothers.
Yeah.
How the music
exactly
industry
that,
should
man.
be. We're all there. We're all one big family in this industry.
Well, of course we are. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what really counts. And it's it's people like Mike who epitomise that as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've only met Mike for the first time tonight. I saw him play here for the Rock for Ukraine gig a while ago. I mean, he's a star, isn't he? I mean, let's face it.
And more importantly than anything else, a fellow vegan. So vegan powers. Let's fucking go.
Friend for life.
Yeah, yeah, we did.
Plant power.
I did chat about that to him actually. Yeah, so yeah. I mean, I was saying to him, how come he looks so bloody young? I mean,
It's all
not
all
worked
the
for
grass
Joe
that we eat,
like
dude.
that.
It's all the leaves. It's all
Yeah.
the leaves
So-
we eat, man.
so you doing it wrong then? I mean,
I mean, yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't think the ciggies help, to be honest, dude. But aside from that, I'm relatively clean living. I try.
yeah.
To be fair, you take away the beard, he actually looks like a 12-year-old.
I need this to get into these venues, otherwise, they'll accuse us of truant and screw. So,
That's fair enough. Yeah.
it's what it is, dude.
Oh, we do actually need
The struggle is real.
Yeah, yeah, but he plays quite a useful
We'll
part.
get him one of them
doesn't he?
beanies with like the beard that's like buttoned on,
Yeah.
so he can incognito.
Excellent.
That's a
excellent.
shout, that.
Yeah, I mean, it must have been a real thrill to be asked to do this.
Oh, yeah, it was
Yeah.
Especially because
absolutely
it was
honoured.
personally as well,
Yeah.
It's like he asked us directly, basically. So,
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't get better than that,
it doesn't, does it?
Yeah, it was really humbling and like amazing to be asked as well, because it's like there's like so many bigger bands out there right now, and
Yeah.
the fact he asked us to play, it was like, oh, awesome! Like, what? No way! That's like,
Yeah.
so
Well,
it's
it's
nice to
a
have people
vindication
believe
of
in
the
us and
hard
that.
work you've put in, isn't it?
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
And I know how hard you guys have worked.
Yeah.
With the album under very difficult circumstances, getting that out there.
Yeah.
And putting your hearts and souls into it. And clearly that's recognised.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
it's humbling. It's been amazing to
Yeah.
like people are just like, oh my god, this is so good, and it was just like, oh, for no way, like
Yeah.
it just blows our minds. Even like still now, we're just like, no way, that's so sick. Like,
Well, that's right. I mean, I know with you guys it goes beyond just the music as well. It is the show you put on.
Oh,
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've said this right from the off. The first time I saw you, it was hard to believe you were a new band.
Yeah.
Because your show was polished.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's what's missing with a lot of bands. They've got the songs,
Oh yeah.
they've got the chops, but not necessarily got the show.
We
to go
just
with it.
didn't want to have it so it's like awkward as well, like especially between songs. You see a lot of bands, they have like brilliant music, and then they stop and there's like 10, 15 seconds of silence, and they go, cheers, this next one's this. And then they're not
Yeah.
ready, and then it takes another however many seconds for them to start playing a riff, and you're like,
Yeah.
and it kind of takes you away from the immersion. It brings down the level again. So we want to make sure everything's always like energetic,
Yeah.
fun,
Yeah.
you still just do go thank you, and the next one's this sometimes. You know, you
Yeah.
can't gotta go
there's
overboard. But
always-
like,
yeah, but you fill
you know,
in the gaps.
You make it the
You
make it
yeah.
a show.
It's
so
got to
nothing
flow.
drops.
It really has to flow. It's
Yeah.
so important. And, you know, 10 seconds doesn't sound like a lot, but in
It's
a gig, when you
eternity.
wait
It's
there,
a lifetime.
it's,
yeah.
oh
Yeah.
my
Oh,
God.
the silence could be
longest 10
deafening.
I feel like you're
seconds.
visibly aging by the time that 10
It's
seconds
horrible.
is
Yeah.
gone, you know?
You see the big surge to the bar, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, well,
yeah.
have they finished then? You know.
You really, it's so important. Like, I think some of it is, like, even though we're a relatively new band, there's a lot of experience here. Like, I've been gigging in bands for since I was about 15, 16 years old, and
Since 2021, wasn't it?
yeah, I was about 15, 16 when I joined my first band, and you know, we played about 200 gigs in
Yeah.
about a calendar year, which is a lot.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was a little less, but
It's when
you
you
know,
can
Joe's
bring
been
that
in bands
experience to
before
bear.
as well.
It's great, isn't it?
Kyle's been in bands, Jeff
Yeah.
has been in bands, Mike's been in bands, so it's not
It's not the first rodeo.
No.
Thing is, though, you know, like being in
No
being in,
cliches, you know, please.
being in
You can
bands-
swear if you want, but no cliches.
you know, you can kind of, in a way, and it's not any disrespect to any of our prior bands or anything, but you know, it's very much like a balance of personalities and chemistry, you know, and for a lot of people, you know, being in as many bands as we've collectively been in over the years, it's kind of, there's an element of throwing as much at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yeah.
Except with this time, it doesn't even feel like that. It's just instantaneous.
Yeah.
It's kind of like lighting a fuse to a stick of dynamite. Lighting a stick of dynamite without fuse, sorry, you know. I've not had any drinks, honestly. other than Coke, you know, and it's the liquid form.
Yeah.
But,
Glad you clarified. that.
well, yeah, you know, you just have to do that, you know.
Just in case.
No,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Coke isn't a drink.
Yeah, it's cola. Cola. I've got cola.
Yes.
You ever seen
Other drinks are
Scarface?
also available. Yeah.
Like, but no, like it's not any of our first rodeo by a long stretch, and you know, it's kind of, it's always quite vindicating when you find that one band where it's like, okay, the search ends here. Let's
Yeah.
just see how we can push this and take it as far as we can take it. And you were saying about the stage shows, you know, we're obviously not at a level where we can have fancy pyro and lasers and all sorts of
Screens.
BS, you know, and when at our level, realistically, the show comes down to ourselves physically and our bodies in a way. So, you know, and also we're passionate about it, so you put it all on the
We
line.
have to be the show when, you know, like when you've got bigger bands with more funding or more funds or whatever.
Yeah.
You can
know,
make
you've
it
got your
bigger again.
screens, you've got your lights, you've got your, you know, your big smoke plumes and stuff, and a lot of the show they don't need to compensate as much.
No, that's right.
So when it's just us and like a backdrop with a venue's name on it,
Yeah.
we have to be the show ourselves. So, you know, you go home with whiplash, but
Yeah.
it's
But yeah, I
it's
mean, you
better
for
than the
yourself. I was
alternative of
fine this morning.
shoegazing and hoping that the music is enough. When really, it's you know, you've got the songs and you've got the music, great, but you can listen to that at home.
Well, that's
you wanna
right.
you want to see
Yeah.
a show when you go out and pay to see a gig. So
Yeah, and you guys clearly have spent time polishing that, and you know
Oh, yeah,
it
yeah.
shows, you know, and it comes through. And as I say, even the first time I saw you, it showed. You know, I think
amazing,
we've talked
thank you.
about this before about that putting on a show, and the polish that you've put on it, and that that's not just 5 minutes work
Oh no,
by any
No.
means. You know,
It's like hours and hours and hours and hours.
Yeah,
it's
And
not
they
even
didn't have
just
the-
that. It's like, you know, you can go through in the rehearsal room and you know, plan things out, but the only way you really get it to that next level is just playing the gigs, doing
Yeah.
the gigs, seeing what it feels like at the event,
Yeah.
and then going back and self-critique and going, oh, the gap was a bit too long between this song and this song, or maybe we should try doing something else here. Maybe we can get the crowd involved here. It's just constantly improving and being critiqued. And
Yeah, I suppose it's quite useful that you've got somebody videoing the shows, isn't it?
It doesn't hurt, you know. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt, you know.
It's always an added bonus. when
Adds to the
someone uploads
research, you
content.
know.
It gives us homework to do at the end of the day.
yeah.
Yeah, because I constantly watch back the videos. I'm like, all right, what can I do better here and stuff like that. Like every time we rehearse, it's always like, how do we make the show better? And we're
Yeah.
always trying like new ideas. Like, why don't we try and do this during the song or something like that? Because like, we don't want to just play the song as it sounds on the album.
No.
Because if they want to hear it sound exactly like the album, they're just
Might as
going
well
to listen to the album.
Sit in your car with
So
a
it's like, yeah.
CD going.
We changed little bits, like in Alive Again, the breakdown is like four.
It's like double the length.
Yeah, it's like double the length, so I could get them all hyped up, to be like, right, I want to build you up and get them all headbanging and screaming and stuff like that. And then Broken Column, there's an extra breakdown at the end where it just like goes into halftime just to add that more extra live element to it and stuff like that. And we're constantly thinking, how can we change in between the songs and stuff like that as well?
Sure. Yeah. So we've got new music on the horizon.
We have.
Well,
Horizon.
funnily enough that you mentioned that, not really at this stage where it can be performed live or recorded or anything. It's still very much work in progress level right now. But yeah, we are. I mean, come November, that'd be 2 years since Homecoming was released, and then if you go from December, basically 2 years since we've been touring it, or in support of it. So it's about time really that we start having at least getting the cogs working for new music. When you'll be hearing it is how long's a piece of string, because ultimately, it comes out when we're
Happy.
We're sure that it's the best it can be, and until then,
money for it too.
Yeah, of course,
it's expensive.
And at the end of the day, we obviously want our songs to connect with people, but without sounding too selfish about it, it has to pass our standards first and foremost.
Well,
that's the most important
if
thing.
you're not happy with it,
Well,
you're
what's
not,
the point,
you're not going to enjoy
How can you
performing it, are
expect
you?
anyone
Yeah.
else to be happy with it?
You don't
Exactly.
just chuck stuff out. Like, we will not do it until, if something sounds too boring or too generic or whatever, we're like, we need to do something and change it, because it's not getting released or recorded.
No.
It sounds crap.
Why would you
basically.
spend money and time on, and it's a lot of money and a lot of time on something that, one, you're not happy with, and two, is not up to what you feel are the standards that are either expected of you or expected of yourself?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's self-expectation is probably the most important one. You've got to have faith in it yourself, haven't you?
One thing that is worth mentioning on that as well is, as a band, we're very much about progression and not staying in the same lane. The new music we're writing, at least so far, and I'm pretty confident in saying it's going to continue as a theme, is it's whenever people do hear it, it's not going to be Homecoming version 2.0.
Good.
We don't want to do that, so we're not going to, but doesn't mean to say it's going to sound like a completely new band. We're not going deathcore on everyone. There'll be none of that.
No.
But it's definitely going to be an evolution of what we did on Homecoming, but it's by no means going to be Homecoming 2.
Yeah.
The earliest assumption I could probably say that it's going to be a lot more angrier and a lot more brutal.
Yeah.
So
Take brutal with a pinch of salt, though, because brutal does sound harsh.
I did just say it's not going to be deathcore.
Yeah.
brutal in guitar terms.
Yeah. So not necessarily vocally, but it's
Chunky
Added
but
chunk.
melodic.
Yeah,
You
chunky
know,
melodic.
more,
we
more,
like that.
so less like
Epic chorus.
less like you're fighting for your life, and more like
More
your
of a
broken
harder
column,
edge.
or
Yeah.
your it's
Like
more
Hole in the Sky,
contemporary.
Alive Again, that end of the
the
album.
more
Airs
modern
and
sound,
Throne,
more
like-
contemporary, more edgy, more polished,
Chunky.
if you like.
Yeah.
But-
Epic.
Yeah.
I'd say.
No, I mean, you've got to progress as a band. I mean, it's
Oh,
fascinating,
absolutely.
It also comes down to the fact that we've also upgraded in our terms of our equipment as well. It gives us more of a vast category of all these different sounds to use. One of the new songs that we're currently writing at the moment is in the drop B tuning, but there's also an element where I also switch between drop B and drop C.
Right.
So it's it's that constant progression of how can we use all these tools to our exposure and keep the Ashen Reach sound progressing as well, and that's kind of what we're working towards with these new songs.
Yeah. The songs we're writing at the moment, I'd say one's probably nearly done. It just needs that sparkle in it. The salt bay of it.
The seasoning.
Fairy
Yeah.
dust on
Yeah.
there.
It's nearly there, but there's just something missing at the moment until we're like, that's it. But so it's I don't know, maybe something could completely change in it, but it's we're there going, it's good, it's sounding great, but there's just something that's just missing at the moment. And then there's another song that says about 70% done.
Roughly.
We've got ideas of lyrics and stuff, but nothing set
And
in
a rough
stone.
structure, but
Yeah, we've got a
And
rough.
there's the
key
occasional
word is
maybe minute and a half of ideas that we've individually shown off in the practice room, which we'll get to work once the gigging schedule lightens up a little bit, because since the June and July we've been really heavily gigging at the moment, which has been an absolute blessing But after Steelhouse Festival, which is an absolute godsend, we can't wait
Next
for
week,
that.
baby.
After Steelhouse, we've got more free time to like just cram more time into practicing and rehearsing, and just see what ideas we'll get turned into full songs.
It's awesome to be touring, and it's awesome to be progressing and making the show better each night, and it's just fun being on the road. We love it, but it's also fun to have some time to get the new music coming along.
Well, that's right. Yeah,
It's
unfortunately, it's hard to combine the two.
There's a balance to be struck, really. Like we've said that ourselves. You know, if we're heavily gigging, obviously as a result of that, the writing has to take a bit of a sidestep, and vice versa. Because, you know, there's bands that are at a level where you can write while you're on the road, and that's amazing. That's good for you, you know. But like we're not at that level at least yet. So if we want to do one, we have to do the other. We can't do the other. Sorry.
Your van's not exactly a tour bus, is it?
Yeah.
Exactly. You know. Yeah.
It's more like it's more like a tour heap.
Yeah.
With
Or
wheels.
a tour sauna.
Yeah.
According to the drive down, you know.
It also comes down to the fact that we only really spend outside of the stage like 3 hours a week practicing, and that's not really enough time to try and come up with all these new ideas when we're trying to polish a set list for an upcoming gig and trying to like sprinkle, as I say, the extra stardust for a new song. But with the lighter schedule ahead, we've got more time to
We're constantly like in our group chats, like writing ideas and stuff like that, but it's hard to like
Put them together.
with like it's like once or twice a week we get to meet up and actually do it properly, whereas like but we're constantly writing stuff and constantly pitching ideas and everything like that, and we're going to be, because we're not we're not taking any more gigs now, really. Like we're going to like kind of
Not
like,
throughout
We're not
August.
actively
looking, but like unless
But
you know,
this year,
something epic
you know.
happens this year,
Yeah.
we want to slow down a little bit so we can focus on the writing and get that album out, because we want to
EP.
hopefully
We are looking for next year, though.
not album, EP. It's because of the last album. Let's get the EP out, and we want to get like a music video for each single. Like that's what we're hoping to do.
Sure.
Get like a music video for everyone and stuff like that. We want
try
to
and
like
promote them
release
a
it.
bit more individually. So rather than releasing the whole EP, we might release one song with a music video, just so each song can be appreciated, rather than you might listen to one and go, I really like that one, and then you end up just skipping, and just because you don't end up giving stuff a full chance. So it's like
we want
gives everyone a full
like,
chance.
It's always the
you
way
need to
when
play
you
that song. No one ever asks for ether.
when you like dump.
Why not?
When you dump a few tracks down, you always see like the spike. One of the songs gets a load of love, and the other two, you know, the number's bigger on one.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that. I mean, that's going to happen anyway, because some songs just either connect with people more, or you know, it's impossible to tell. You can only make your best guess before you release them, but it gives them time to be absorbed properly at the very least.
Well, that's right. Yeah, things have got to mature, haven't they? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
But,
100%.
it's not a process to be rushed, because it always shows when you do, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, like anyone listening to this, just like be confident in the fact that, you know, when you do hear new music from us, it'll be the best it can be, and that's kind of the long and short of it, really. You know, like it'll be worth the wait. The wait might be a bit longer than you want, but it'll be worth the wait. You know?
We were going to attempt to get the one that was pretty much nearly done for Steelhouse, and have like a new song there too, but we've just decided no, because we'll have to rush it now, and you don't want to rush it, especially for something like that. So it's like,
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
we're going to make it perfect before we can even do it.
We're hoping
Full credit to
might
you.
be we hope to maybe play one live at Rockstock, hopefully.
Yeah.
That
But
should
that's
be fine.
but that's if we're happy with it. If we're not happy with it, we're not going to play one live. But like well, hopefully fingers
Well,
crossed.
we are
we'll have one
relatively
ready.
when we get the time.
Rockstock's
we're really
a while
quite
away, man.
quick at writing.
Yeah.
It's just because it's so spread out, and then when you come back the next week for your 3-hour practice, you've got to go over and remember what you did last time, and then start adding on. So that's why it takes so long. Not because
Make notes.
not because we're slow.
Oh,
We do
right, yeah.
record them.
Just the time.
Believe
we
it or
have to
not.
work with.
It's one of
Speaking
them.
of now, all the new materials recorded on this phone at the moment. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a mix.
Don't
like
lose
I've got a couple of
Yeah. Don't
recordings
lose
on
it.
mine.
Oh my God, Dave's the one who loses everything. So.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
got like a
You
one
trust
note.
him with it?
Oh, yeah.
And we've got no choices. His phone.
We've got like a little OneDrive folder of like all our lyrics and stuff like that, or like ideas that
Little
we can
WhatsApp
all
group.
look together. You know, like
Yeah.
we can all like log in together and we can write it.
Yeah.
So it's dead funny because like we all write the lyrics together and stuff like. Well, we write everything together,
Yeah.
and it's like we'll all have our phone with the lyrics on, and you'll see like, oh, let's have this as an idea, and you'll just see it just vanish on your phone as someone else is typing and popping up.
All
And you just sat there going, "There's a
Fake.
ghost on my phone."
Mark Zuckerberg's in on the writing. Heads up.
Oh no! I mean, it's going to be worth waiting for.
We can't wait. We are
That's
so
Like,
excited.
you can make notes and stuff and record ideas, but you do need to get a little block of time to get into that creative flow state, and really,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
like an hour or two isn't really enough.
course it's not.
I'm
Especially
confident if we were like a big like famous band and we got given you to write, here's a month and a bit, write the full album. You know, obviously you get
Yeah.
paid for it. You know, you don't have to be in work any of the days. I'm confident we could do that because
Oh,
then
yeah.
it gives you all the
Yeah,
days.
Yeah.
To me, and
Yeah,
it's
unfortunately, real
we
li-
don't
real-
have that.
Real life gets in the way.
Yeah.
No,
does.
100%, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if anyone with a label who's willing to chuck a load of money at us to do that full time, then you know where to shout.
Yeah.
You know. What you waiting
Sign
for,
us.
bro?
Please, please.
Not
20
you.
quid, 20 quid will be sound, man.
Yeah, that's fine.
20 quid will be
Yeah.
sound.
That'll pay for me rent for the month. That's fine.
the hovel.
Yeah.
Guys, it's been great talking to you again.
Likewise.
and,
Thank you
much.
for
Yeah,
having us.
awesome.
Oh,
Always a
it's a
pleasure,
pleasure.
man.
looking forward to seeing
Always
you
a
again
pleasure.
tonight.
We
And,
can't wait. This is one of our favourite venues. And
It's home, second
goes
home,
off.
man.
It goes off to death
I knew
every
you were gonna-
time.
There's not a single interview or status that Kyle has typed or said that doesn't say it's gonna go off to death.
Yeah.
It's gonna go
Not
off
yet.
to death.
Never.
We've got a sellout crowd tonight. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
gonna
Hell
be-
yeah,
It's
man.
gonna be-
Well,
it
it's
is
gonna be
gonna
hot.
go off to
Yeah.
death.
What was it last time?
That's the
what
biggest
was
bonus we can ask for, a sold out gig in one of our favourite venues in the UK.
it? Oh, it's amazing.
Just want to say as well before the interview wraps up, you know, like thanks to yourself and the Rock Cooperative for being like so supportive with everything, because realistically, like this couldn't really happen without you guys, you know.
Yeah,
It's
100%.
So
an
props,
absolute
man.
pleasure.
Props.
And I know I speak for myself and for Rock Cooperative. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we love having you guys here.
We love
Oh,
you
we love
guys.
being here.
Likewise.
It's,
Yeah,
it's,
The
it's
feeling is
so
mutual.
amazing just seeing everyone singing back
It's a
to
home
us
away
and
from
jumping
home.
and going wild.
Yeah.
Like when we played last time, you could see the speakers wobbling when everyone was jumping
Oh,
to
I
the
know,
front.
I know. And I'm standing right by it. And I'm sort of holding my phone with one hand and
The speakers
Five
were going, "Don't
B50
collapse."
people, please don't fall on me.
God knows what we can get the crowd to do when it's sold out.
Yeah.
Probably nothing because they're all like this.
Yeah. There'll be an earthquake at
like
Steelhouse.
holding them up. Yeah.
Sardines.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We're aiming to cause a full-on scale 5 on the Richter scale.
Without damaging the
tremors
place.
at least.
I
Steelhouse.
think
so.
you'll manage that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what was it? The
We're
floor
opening the
was bending
stage,
as
but no
rock
one who
stock.
watches has any excuse to be stood still. Just so you know,
It's
like
gotta be
you'll be
that.
getting bouncing.
Yeah. Even if you don't, the floor will do it for you.
Yeah,
Like-
damn right.
You're
Yeah.
sweaty
Hashtag
anyway,
trampoline.
so
Oh yeah.
we got nothing to lose at this point.
Damn right. We are.
Yeah.
Guys,
Thank
been
you.
great. Thank you
Thank
so
you very
much.
much, man. Really,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Thank you.